So again, you want to, while standing, you have the option of, and what most people do is clenching and holding the body, muscular tension, or locking out in joints, right? One of the main ones is the knees locking back like this, right? You can maybe see that, where I'm pushing back, and so that I'm creating a vector of bone on bone, and then like ligaments are holding on tight to keep us upright. So that's one way. The other way is clench the body, right? People clench their shoulders, clench their stomach and back and their butt. And so they're in a state of constant holding because they're afraid they might fall down if they don't, right? Where what we want to do is put that work of keeping us upright on more of the liquid nature or the relaxed body nature. Or another way of saying that is put it on the chi. Let the buoyancy of the life force within you be what you use to keep you up. So I'll turn sideways a little bit so you can just see. Let the arms hang loose. The feet just comfortable. The feet have options of being, slightly turned out, turned parallel. Just find comfortable positioning. Arms, shoulders, head and neck relaxed. And to help with this, as you let your arms hang, let's do this tilting forward, tilting back bit here. So just slightly tip forward, turn sideways so you can see, just slightly tip forward and be more in the front end of your feet. And there's some work happening in your toes to keep you from falling face down. And then just softly back to the middle and go a little bit extra towards your heels. So you're more in the back of your foot. And then more into the front of the foot. And then more into the back of the foot. So do that a couple more times, just rocking back and forth. So when you do your standing meditation practice, this is what it's like. It's not that you hold yourself stiff. You allow yourself room to move a little bit through the spaces if that's what the body wants. And the body usually does want that. It wants to move this way, that way. It wants to explore a little bit. The other thing is just a little bit to the side. So let yourself arrange yourself more to the right leg, still just relaxed. And then just very easy over to the left leg. Easy to the right leg. Feel that hammock of support here in the hips, changing over to the left. Over to the right. Now, go over to the left and stay in the left. From the left, go forward into the front of the left foot and go over to the right front foot. And then come back towards the middle of the right foot and maybe even a little bit to the heel, and then come across to the left. So we sort of do a circle. Come forward, go around, and then back and around, forward and around. And again, put the work of executing this on the liquid, on the chi, by letting go of the body and just kind of just simply choosing with the mind, telling the body to do this. But it's just rearranging liquid. Let's go the other way with that circle. Come to the front of the right foot, go across the front, the left foot, back, around. Just feel the hips as you do this. Feel how the little muscles deep inside the hips and the pelvic floor Also feel the knee joints all the way through the ankles. All the muscles involved are going through just these little changes. Like if you could see it, if you had some x-ray vision glasses on and you could see through the skin and see the nerves and muscles firing, there's like these little interchanges happening, but it's happening while you're relaxed. And so it's soothing, calming. It's creating this wonderful sort of relationship with your body that we want to cultivate, especially with Parkinson's. You need to have that level of relationship to the body. Now find your way back to the middle. Just lift your shoulders up. Melt your shoulders down. Shoulders up. Shoulders down. Just loose arms. Do that a few more times. Again, this super casual look, just vibe that's very relaxed. Yet you can still command the body to move. Melt down. Arms are like cooked noodles as they lift up because of the shoulder blades. Slide down the shoulder blades. Now, shoulder blades spread apart from the spine, and we concave the chest and let this be where we do our spinal rounding. And then just relax and come back to neutral, right in the middle. And then shoulder blades slide towards each other. This is where we do our spinal arching. You can even let your head just softly fall back. And then we softly come to neutral. Do that a couple more times. So all the work that we've done while sitting in the chair, now we're finding a different context to play with it. All right, and then we go shoulder blades slide towards each other, chest lift, lift the head, lift the chin. And then just softly back to neutral. Notice something with my arms. This is neutral. When I go back, they turn out. When I come to neutral, they're neutral. When I go this way, they turn in and they migrate in front. And then neutral. Open. And remember that other point that I make? I'm always doing less than you. So what you think I'm doing when I do this or that, and then you do some huge movement, consider that the direction you want to go is do less because it's more efficient and more precise. Right? I'm not lifting my arms up in space at all. I'm just moving all the vertebrae. Okay. So now we're back to middle. Let's do right shoulder. By itself, it slides around. So it's the same thing we just did with two, but we do it with just one. So it comes in front a little bit. It hasn't lifted. Now it lifts. Then it rolls back and slides down your back. Slides around in front, up in front, rolls over, slides down. Two more. Forward and up, back and down. Forward and up, back and down. From neutral, back. So remember that little turn out of the hand. Up, forward. The arm is now turned into this internal position, and then release, neutral. Back, up, forward, down. I didn't switch arms. So Ronald, it looked like you just switched arms. I didn't switch. I just changed my angle. Back, up, forward, soft. The soft is the most important. Let it go back to neutral. Back and up, forward and down. Back and up, forward, down. Now switch arms. Forward, up, back, down. And the number one mistake people make is Maybe you got that right. Maybe you even got that right. And then when I say back, they move their arm back as opposed to shoulder. Yep. So this space inside here that we're moving around, that's the root of the arm. After this one, we come down to neutral. Then we go back with the same arm, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, from the root. So it's like the root is all tangled up and stuck and there's no space in there. But as we do this movement, especially when we do it right, we do it relaxed, it cleans out, sort of polishes there, and then it actually opens up a cavity or a cave or a space that then is filled with liquid, fluid, and chi, right? That's how they think in the Taoist thought about the body. Okay, so we got both those arms done singularly. Now we're going to do them both together with a little bit of a footwork positioning. So put your weight over into your, first off, put your weight into your right leg, turn your left foot out 5 degrees, shift over into that left leg and put your right foot just a little bit in front. Now, shift into your right leg a little, shift into your left leg. It's just a little forward and back, and the whole time you stay as if underground. So nothing held up here, just easy. A little forward, a little back. Now the next time you're forward in your front foot, both shoulder blades come forward, that little concave chest. As you lift the shoulder blades and bring them back, shift into your back leg and slide your shoulder blades down. Now you're down and relaxed. As you shift forward, shoulder blades come forward, protraction, elevation, and then they roll over top as we shift back and slide them down your back. Shift forward, shoulder blades, protract, elevate, and retract as you shift into your back leg. So now we're getting this full liquid body movement of forward and up, back and down, forward and up, back and down. Now, go forward, you're in your front leg, pause, come back into your back leg, squeeze shoulder blades together, look at the palms turned out, then come up with the shoulder blades. As the shoulder blades roll forward, the arms come forward and you shift into your front leg and then release your arms, totally relaxed. Come back, open, up over the top, sliding down in front, totally released. Here there's zero, nothing going on. And then back, up, and then as you shift forward, there's that movement and release. As they come under, we shift back. 2 more. Up, over, and release. Back. Up, over, and release. And back. Now bring your right foot back, slightly turned out, shift into it. Left foot, just a simple, comfortable step in front. Forward front foot, protract shoulder blades, elevate shoulder blades, shift back, retract, and slide them down. Forward and up, back and down. Forward and up, back and down. Forward up, back and down. Couple more. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see if that helps. Now we come forward, pause, shoulder blades back as we go into the back leg. Then it's up, over the top as we shift forward and sliding down. We go into our back leg, shoulder blades slide back, up, over, forward, down. Back, up, over the top, down. Back and up, 2 more. Roll. Loose, whole liquid body. Last one. Good. And then bring your feet back to parallel. Remember, at any time, if you need to, you can sit down and do the sitting version of these. Now, right arm, swing it, a little forward, a little back. So like a pendulum, forward, back. Now, forward, out, around, in. This first one, you want the hand to pretty much stay at the same level and as far as distance from the floor. Then we go a little bit up with the hand. So then it goes out, a little behind, fall. Up, around. Let it start to cross and come up a little bit and go out and around. Maybe a little higher, drawing a nice, easy circle. And release, pendulum swing. Swing, now as you swing it back, go out around the circle this way and in next to the body. Out around the circle, come in. Remember, this first one stays at the level of the water, being kind of waist-high water. Then we take it up a little bit, up, over, down. We start to allow it to cross a little bit. All from this shoulder joint being looser and looser. Cross, down. Circle, down. Circle, down. Just a couple of, whatever your maximum is. But remember, put the work on the chi. So always be seeing, am I using Li or tension-based strength when I don't need to? Can I soften that? And other arm, swing, swing, swing. Now the next time you're forward, around, through, around, through, around, through. Then a little raise, up, over, through. The other thing we work on in Tai Chi is, the word precision, but also precision and subtlety. So we're not just lifting it as high as we can right away. We're finding, oh, just that's, this many millimeters up, and then another millimeter higher, this next one. Making circles that are just ever increasing, but by very small amounts. Last one, and then we switch. And swing it back, circle around. So we're starting low. You might even find, as you can see is happening with my body, there's like a natural sort of weight change that's happening. I'm just changing leg to leg, not making anything major about it, but just letting the movement of the arm and my body react to that. So the more relaxed you are, the more all that natural stuff happens. Stirs up the chi. Start to build the circle a little bit, little lift of the arm, bring it across. This is very much like the bear washing paws, except we're just doing just the arm, letting it cross, down, cross, down. And that's really good, Ronald. You're staying within a comfort zone, I hope. And notice that there's something you can do to keep the juices flowing, to induce freedom and looseness. Last one there. And both. Pendulum, pendulum, pendulum. Now out, back, out, back. You notice there's a little rock to the toes, rock to the heels, rock, rock. Let it grow a little bit. It comes up and over a little bit. And if you do have an injury, like Ronald, you are dealing with, slow the good arm down to the hurt arm for when you're doing double. So only lift that right arm the height that your left arm should. So bring the left arm with you, but just go to the height that both of them can execute. One more. And pendulum, switch directions. First they're staying nice and low. Rock to the toes, heels, toes, heels. Arms are straight and loose. Just swinging from the shoulders with nothing in the way. Then let them grow a little bit, a little lift. Bring it over the top. Fall. Rock to the toes, heels, toes, heels. Maybe a little further growth if that's appropriate. And finish. Now, bend elbows, softly touch shoulders. And when the hands come out, when you take them down, let them swing and up. They go out a little and then it's up, up, loose. Couple more, loose. And feel this space in here that I was talking about, like little gear that just moves with ease. And hands stay up, wing, down, in, down, out and up, down, in, down. Now, back, down, forward, maybe more forward, maybe all the way up where you then place your hands upper back. Forward, down, back, down, forward, up, forward, down, back, down, forward, up, and down. Out, one arm over the top of the other. Close the front, open the back. Then as your elbows go out to the sides, open the front without closing the back. Switch, other hand on top, close the front. Open the front without closing the back. One more of each. Elbows down, forearms parallel to the floor. Palms down. So this is just pronation, supination. Pronate, supinate. Now, wrists fold, roll under, point forward. Spin palms up, fold, under. Now let's add the monkey palm. pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb, and then unfurl. So just do that portion. It's just hand and wrist. Together. Now roll in the monkey palm and then release. Really great for carpal tunnel, arthritic pain, just general dexterity. Now pause here, come under, monkey palm, turn and roll open, out. And remember, the finger movement goes to here, but we got to finish it with the wrist. That wrist. So yeah, Karen, that's the one thing you were missing there in your last one. You did all this fine, and then you just kind of went through, versus really finish the wrist fold under, and then from that folded position, change to here, and then unfurl. Two more. So the fingers, and then the wrist, and then roll and open, palms down, palms facing down, pinky, ring, index, middle, monkey, and then fold the wrist, roll out. Good. Relax. Okay. Shogun, or closing gesture. Wing, up and over, settle. And arms hanging, head and neck, chin down, middle, look up to the sky, down, and up. So the destination is important, as in you need to get to looking up and looking down, but also the whole polishing of the highway, the pathway, of scanning the space from low to high. After you look down that final time, then look middle, turn the head, look right, scan back to the middle, through the middle, over to the left. Scan back to middle, all the way to the right. Scan and turn left. Two more on each. Back to middle. This one's a little weird, but we all sort of do it. Get a little closer so you can see it. So this is the mistake a lot of people make. Look around amongst your folks and you'll see this a lot. But do it and then retract it and then go even further back, like someone's pushing your chin in, and you can feel this nice little opening stretch through there. All right, and then out, and your spine has to go with it. You have to kind of have crappy posture for a second, and then middle, and then back, and out, and back. By the way, it's raining. That's awesome. The gods were listening. And back. Okay, and then very softly, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. So this happens invariably with folks. When I go like this, people do this. See the difference between truly lateral and actually turning your head, right? So just this little soft bobble head, and try to find a little extra range. So your first couple are very small, then you get some length and space. And then the final head and neck exercise. Circles. Imagine a tip of a pencil, and you're going to draw a small circle getting larger and larger and larger on the ceiling. So ear softly falls to the right shoulder, then go back a little with the head so the chin ends up lifting. Circle around to the other side, and then here as you come forward, the chin goes a little lower. And then follow that circle. And remember the difference between the bobblehead move that I described and your chin turning to the left. That's also the mistake people make. They forget to let the ear fall that way. Instead, they turn the chin. So get that and then come around to this side. On this last one, when you get around to your head hanging in front, leave it there. Hang in front for a moment. And then someone pulls that pencil tip up, go the other way. Ear a little bit to the other shoulder, go back, or left shoulder, and then back around, forward and around, back and around. Getting a little larger with each circle. Two more. Just letting the weight stay below your feet. Just relaxed. And then as you let your head hang in front that final time, just leave it there. Head rises. Shogun. Close. Hips and spine. That's the next little module. Hips and spine and their relationship to each other. So hips. So here's the key. We relaxed all this junk so that it's possible that you might just be soft, relaxed, and easy. Now, push your hips forward. Let your spine do a soft arch back. Your head falls back a little. Then your hips go back a little, not too far, but enough to let your head fall in front and your spine do a little rounding. So don't hold on. Then hips come forward, and that naturally just lifts and lengthens the spine. And then you go all the way forward. The head falls back. Notice your shoulder blades, if they're relaxed, they kind of retract. They kind of slide towards each other. And then the hips come back, round the spine, and notice the shoulder blades just softly protract. Not because you're doing it, but because you're so relaxed. Do it again. Hips. So the key is the hips are driving the movement. Forward. One more. So you're creating a wave-like experience for the spine by moving from the pelvis, from the hips. Now, middle, hips push over to the left, the head, let it fall to the right. So if my hips are going this way, head is going that way. My hips come back to middle, naturally the head and spine will come back to middle, and then hips push to the right, drop softly to the left. Notice, are you clinging? Can you relax? Can you let the liquid hold you up a little bit? Back to middle. Again, sideways. And the shoulders will do a little something. This arm will hang a bit. This arm will sort of lift a little. And then we're back, and the shoulder blades and arms just slide. So this feeling of sliding, this feeling of oozing, of easing our way. One more each. Just think of these as the cardinal directions, the easy ones, the connect the dots version. And then when we want to do a circle, we need to have these very clear in our brain. And back to middle. Now, again, when my hips go forward, my head softly falls back. From this position, as I take my hips over to this connect dot over here, that means my head ends up over here. Now, as my hips go around back, my head ends up in front. As my hips go over to the right, my head ends up to the left. As my hips come around and go to the front, roll. Roll. So this gets a little tricky and sophisticated. I just want to introduce it. So as my pelvis is moving and everything else is just relaxed, I'm now creating a little roll of all the vertebrae in the back, soothing the spine. Switch directions. As the hips go right, head softly falls left. As the hips go back, the head falls forward. Hips go left, head falls right, hips forward, head falls back. And the shoulder blades and arms just kind of glide around. They go from protracted to kind of retracted. And it's all just something you want to witness. You just want to see, what does the body do when I move from my middle in this way? And last one, back to middle. Okay, now we're standing. Shift the weight over to your right leg, and you're going to turn your left leg out. So this is something we do in our walking class, but we're going to use it in this class as the joint mobilization for the hips. So you externally rotate your left leg, then neutral, then internal. All right, so this is similar to seated swivel steps that we've done. Neutral. Eventually, you want to be able to do this where there's no weight in this leg at all, and you're just moving it freely, but sometimes you'll have to come up out of it and land back in it if you don't feel stable enough. Come up out of it, land in it in this position. This position is the weirdest one. When we're pigeon-toed, this knee has to be a little bent. And then neutral. And also when you're turned out, the knee a little bent. Right? And neutral. Other leg. External. Neutral. Internal. Neutral. So we're picking up the foot and turning it out and landing. Picking up the foot, turning it to neutral landing. Picking it up, turning it, all from the hip. Turn, 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 turn. One more, back to neutral. Great job. Now, this one, stick your butt back a little. Sink down just a little and have your hands resting above your knees on your thighs. And look at my torso, how it's creating a slight angle diagonally. Now, feel your feet. Let yourself go more to the outer edge left, inner edge right, and let your thighs move off to the side just a little. And then come back to middle. And then go over to the other side. Middle. A little bit of movement. I'm doing less than perhaps you're doing. Look for subtlety. Just a little bit of this lateral movement through the legs. Feel it through the feet, the ankles, the shins. Yes, a little in the knees, but then make sure it's also moving up in here in the hips, at your thighs. And then we go back to middle. Now, open. So you go to the outer edges of both feet. Inner edges of the feet come off, and there's like a little circle here. And then close, back to middle, and close. And then open, and really just feel it on your feet. You're going outer edges, even, inner edges. Even, outer, even, inner, even, and stand up. Great. And there's also a circle to be done there, but that's a little more advanced. We won't try it. Now, you're standing. Ideally, have something you can put your hand on if you need to. What we'll do is lift the 5 toes of your left foot and then roll up that heel so that your heel is off the ground and you're pressing now. Press the pinky toe, ring toe, middle toe, index toe, big toe, and then back down. So if this is the floor and this is my foot, I'm lifting the heel, pressing the toes, and then going pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb, back, that. And you're using the floor to act like a stretcher for your toes. Okay? All right, rolling, and the leg just kind of wags back and forth. And switch, shift, lift the 5 toes, and then roll up, and then go big toe, little toe. All right, back to middle. Now, Shogun. Tai Chi. Rock back a little, hands sweep back. Rock forward, they paint the wall. Hand switch, rock back, they paint the fingers. Rock forward, back of hand paints the wall. Down. One more. On this next one, we transition. As the hands come down, we do a little scoop in front. Wings. So again, open only the amount that's right for your shoulder. Down. Main important thing here is that we open, and as they get up, you realize that arms are not pulled back. They're allowed to be a little in front. And then when they come down, the hands come right into this little pocket space. Up. Down. Up. Now roll and fold. So that roll is palms turn up. The fold is at the elbow joint. And then down. Wings. Roll, fold. Remember, eventually that's just one event, not two. Once we understand the 2 parts of it, it's up and then it's a roll fold. Again, Ronald, really notice what's happening in my elbows. Roll, elbow. Yes, good. One more like that. Roll, elbows. Down. Now embrace the moon, which is a bit of a combination of what we just did. Right palm turns up as it folds over. Left hand sweeps under. Come towards each other, away from each other. So this is the first dot, connect here. Next dot is the wings. So time it so that it's wings. Turn left palm up. Next dot is high and low on the midline. High, low, and then they come towards. That's a dot. Then this is a dot. Then wings. And even if they need to be smaller for like shoulder injury, just hit those dots. So I'll do a very small version here. Right? Or even smaller. But I'm still timing, still putting the brain through the paces. And if it's possible, you do this big round version because it helps clean out the pathways, but it's better to obviously do the version that is healthy. Last one, out, down. Both hands bend at elbows, hands come up, turn the palms forward, Tai Chi push. Now we use this practice not only to learn the appropriate extension of a push, that we don't want to go locking out, it's here. That's one thing, but also your Ming Men, this lumbar spine area. When you go to push, you let the weight rock into the toes, but keep the Ming Men back, right? Otherwise you fall forward, right? So it's, you rock forward, but the Ming Men stays back, and then you draw back from that Ming Men. Rock and push, but keep that center. So you keep your center. Push, but keep your Ming Men back. Draw. One more. Push. So that helps us establish where our Ming Men is. And now left palm turns forward. Push. Notice how that push straight ahead of you starts to rotate that Ming Men area a little bit. Then the hands switch, 1, 2, and it's rotation from that Ming Men. The palm switch, which is a brain challenge, and then little turn, palm switch, you might notice what I'm doing now. When I'm drawing back, instead of coming to here, I'm drawing down by the hip. This is more traditional. And then that switch happens. The hand has to come from low to high. And then it's more traditional monkey steps back and twists, or repulse monkey. And we get that Ming Men softly turning, opening. Because we're not really weight shifting and changing weight, the movement has to come from the quad or hips and waist or that lumbar spine. And then both hands back, down, relax. Take one hand on your belly button. Shift the weight to the right leg, turn the belly button right. Shift the weight left leg, turn the belly button left. Shift. So now we're getting a lateral change of leg, and then that turn of hips and waist. And then we're going change leg, waist, hips, then waist. Let the hands hang out in the water. The bear washes both paws. Brush knee, sweep leg. Brush knee, sweep leg. The looser the body, the movement takes on different shapes, right? So it could still kind of be the bear washes paws, but the arm starts to float and go around in space a bit more, so it really becomes the bear swirls the stream. So that means that right arm would go around, but yet it stays at generally water height. Then the left arm around. And the hand that's coming across here is brush knee. So that's the difference. It's here. So the hand goes around a circle and then comes through like that, rather than retracing its steps. Circle, come in close, and then as it's brushing knee, the other hand goes around and comes cross brush knee while the other hand goes around. Couple more. Let's start snatching the fish. The fish start jumping out of the water, so we got to come across, and then hand falls in the water. So when this hand comes across, have the palm facing this way, so that it then has to rotate over, palm down, to fall through. The bear. So again, leg change, hip turn, waist turn, soft released arms. But you're keeping your Ming Men, so you're never falling off center. The Ming Men remains this central, whatever the center of the universe is, right? The center of your little galactic constellations and orbiting parts is that central dantian, or energy elixir cavern. And as the arms are coming now a little more like up and over, right? Then it's time for brush knee and push with a little sophistication. So here, as this arm wings up, we roll fold. And remember the push. So now it's shift turn. This bottom hand is brush knee. Top hand extends a bit like a push. The hands change. There's a roll fold. Shift and turn, brush and push. Brush and push. Brush and push. Brush, push. Brush, push. Now the opposite of brush, push, pause, turn left arm into a cloud or ward off. Right hand is in the lake. Shift, turn, cloud, lake. Vapor and rain, changing positions. Right arm is now up, left hand is in the lake. And then it's shift and turn, cloud, lake. And then left hand rises, right hand falls. And then cloud, lake, vapor, rain. And again, if you have shoulder issues, right, it could all be done right in this space. But you're still working the smoothness. Smoothness, right? So it can be done so small. And in fact, the trajectory, you could say, or progression is a better word, the progression of Tai Chi is big, open, and round, if possible, if safe on the body, because it unfurls and decongests. And then there's all this space for intricacy of small movement. And that's where it becomes an incredible martial art. These movements can be used for martial arts, and often it's the smaller rendition of them that's most effective. Now, the next time you come across here to that right leg, left hand, bottom of a circle, cradling the ball. Right hand, let's just take it out of the game for a moment. Left hand goes, watch the trajectory, it goes towards the front of the room, that way, right? It's not swinging like a wing. It's not rising up. It's going away from the body. Now, from here, as you shift, turn, it's an upward diagonal trajectory. Turn the palm out like a wing, sweeps down like a wing, sweeps across the water, cradle the ball. Then it goes away from the body, shift, turn, arrive. Turn the palm out, sweep down, cradle. Away, across and up, arrive. Turn out. One more. Flying diagonal, which is 1/2 of parting wild horse mane or stroking wild horse mane. Bring right hand out, wash both bare paws. Put left hand behind your back, right hand cradles the bottom of the ball. The hand goes away from the body towards the front. Then the shift and turn carries it up and across. Turn the palm out, wing, lake, ball. Flying diagonal, which is a unique path that we have to carve. And it's a difficult path to see for the brain, especially early on. That's why we end up doing something other than it, because it requires a lot of awareness to carve this space through and up, right? Now, wash both paws, come back to middle. Left hand, bottom of a ball, right hand, top of a ball. 2 train tracks running parallel to the floor, going in opposite directions, all the way to the fingertips, finish all the way to the fingertips. Next time you make this ball, train tracks go diagonal. Now, left hand's doing the flying diagonal, right hand is doing that downward chop. 2 train tracks. Now, hold here, the end of this, turn left palm out, right palm up. Embrace the moon. Left hand down, right hand up. Left hand sweeps leg, right hand folds over. Again, 2 train tracks. Turn left palm out, right palm up. Embrace the moon. One goes down, one goes up. Now, shift to the right, turn to the right as you gather the ball. So now, remember the flying diagonal, how I described it. Remember the 2 train tracks. Now do that with the shift and the turn. Execute that move. Turn the left palm out, right palm up. Embrace moon. Left hand down, right hand up as you shift back to the right leg. As you turn, the arms just create the ball. Again, part wild horse main. Shift, turn, 2 train tracks, flying diagonal, downward chop. Turn left palm out, right palm up. Someday doing that simultaneous. Then shift, turn, embrace. And part wild horse main. Turn palms, shift and gather. One more. Great job, everybody. Now, right hand goes out and down into the water. Left hand turns, wash both paws back to the middle. Middle. Right hand underneath the ball. Left hand over top. Parallel to the floor, train tracks. Calibrate. So remember, we're just doing this educational sequence there. So Janona, we start parallel to the floor, train tracks, so that we get those 2 movements going. Then we go diagonal train tracks. Then at the end of this, we do embrace the moon. Turn right palm out, left palm up, and transition ball, diagonal train tracks, going in opposite directions. Now, as you embrace the moon, you shift left, turn left. So you should be shifted and turn to your left, my right, your left. And then as you shift right, turn right, then part wild horseman. Turn palms, 1, 2, and embrace moon as you shift. And then part and return. Part and return. Again, Janona, right hand low, left hand high. And also as you execute this, this palm stays facing up, right? So the palms as if on either side of a beautiful horse's mane. That's where I think the poetic image comes from, right? Again, gather. So when this was high, it's got to come low, there, through, turn the palms. And then our final challenge with this, stroke wild horse mane. From here, left hand sweeps across, right hand rolls over, and we go back the other way. And then right hand sweeps, left hand falls over top, back the other way. Sweep, gather, change. Sweep, gather, change. Sweep and gather. And change. Final time, sweep to the ball. Then left hand goes out and around. Right hand turns. Bear wash both paws. Back to the middle. And closing Qigong, sink Qi wash organs. Rock a little back. Start the circle. Rock forward. Dip into the distance. Rock back. Bring it in through mouth. Rock to the middle of feet and hands at the middle. Tail sneaks out. Sink. Release the arms. Stand back up. Rock back. Begin sweeping the arms up. Rock forward. Carry that circle. Rock back. In. Rock to the middle. Hands to the middle. Tail pokes out. And then we sit and release. Final one. Back to middle. Rock. Rock. Rock back. Rock middle. Tail and through. Shogun, wings, roll, fold, settle. And then seal. Here's the belly button. 1, 2. Taoist bow. Grab a thumb, fold. See the little yin yang symbol. And thank you. Find a comfortable seat. Any reflections from that in terms of we did some new stuff and we did some old stuff in a different context. So let me know.